Y'all didn't hear a thing, chat. Hawa. Hawa.
Hey, girl.
Hi, everybody, and hello, Anya, my beloved co-host. How are you doing today?
Hello. I'm doing really good for the most part, except for having to shut off those automatically on by default AI mic enhancements that have been given to me by Microsoft.
Fucking hate AI, dude.
I hate it. And listen, I know you think I'm one of the good ones, but honestly, I'm just as bad.
And I put my shoulder on you, like looking deadly serious, like, we talked about this. You shouldn't be talking about yourself this way. Respect yourself more, girl. I'm concerned about you. That might explain why all of your shit started sounding bad recently. Oh god.
Yeah, if go into your sound control panel, go into properties and advanced for your microphone, and shut off anything that says like signal boosting or sound enhancement or whatever.
Hope everybody's having a lovely evening though. We are very excited to keep going with this, VN.
Yeah, I am very excited. I hope there's more tiny men this time.
Last time we experienced Peak, which wasn't Sojiro locking in, and it wasn't Aoko shooting her funny artillery beam, but it was Sojiro being shoved into a little bottle and being made tiny and looking up at Aoko and Alice.
Yeah. What is up, Size Play Nation? My people. The joy.
Your RAM also started flagging errors recently, but that was only after the most recent AI update. Huh, weird.
God.
Huh. Last time he got jarred, and then he got jarred again! No, he got jarred and then bottled. It's different.
Those are two different kinds of vessel that I feel have very different vibes and purposes. Jars
Exactly.
are utilitarian. Bottles are, like, pretty.
Like, the ornamentation and the light going through that bottle were insane.
I'm still thinking about the reflection on the table.
Oh, yeah. What container will they...
So, okay. My personal vote is, like, underneath a cup with, like, a paper under it, like he's some sort of bug.
I think they should put him in a Tupperware.
Oh, you're right. You need to fit in the microwave, right?
God. Like, I'm thinking of Alice teaching Aoko how to set up one of those jars or bottles, like, a little bit, and her trying, and she does it with, like, the first plastic container for the fucking kitchen that she has.
I am personally now imagining Aoko having to intervene on Alice trying to put Sojiro in the microwave.
Two roommates want Sono G-Cup? No!
Oh, cause of the cup.
Yeah.
I was like, is he gonna get tits? What's going on here?
The fact that you went immediately to G-Cups and Sojiro, a one bottle could go crazy. Ooh. I'm a bit biased. I think the wine
That was really disorienting
bottle.
because now I can hear you talking on your stream and not in Discord. Hang on.
What the fuck?
Hello.
Hello?
God, I hate the internet.
What happened?
I don't know.
You're suffering, girl.
They're killing me today. It's fucked up.
They're doing it with hammers and everything.
They're doing it with hammers and knives and axes and guns and fire and spears.
Keep going, come on. You can come up with more weapons.
And ropes and whips and sickles and scythes and
Give me
knives,
two more,
but,
just two more.
cushion ones and fists, their hands. Their
Hell
fucking
yeah!
hands.
You did it!
I started just thinking like, all right, every weapon I've encountered in Elden Ring, go.
Like a Wheel of Fortune, but you have to guess what fetish Nasu will unsubtly stuff into his game? No. You don't have to use the Wheel of Fortune. We know exactly which ones he's shopping in, and we know they're coming.
Big women, feet. What else?
Big women and feet. Those are the main ones. Also, like, making, like, really well-meaning but fucked up boys suffer.
Yeah. Do you think that's a kink, or do you think that's just like writing from experience? Do you think Nasu might be a fucked up boy who suffers?
Like, and I have said this before, I don't want to speculate on people's lives. However, just considering what I've seen from Fate, I'm not sure Nasu is a boy at all. Oh.
Come on, please, Discord, load the stream.
Oh.
I'm begging. Okay, we're in.
Ooh. We are in. And the last time we came in, Aoko was about to do her fucking funny spiel about Magecraft and what mages are. Are you ready to learn?
Let's exposit, baby.
Let's start with mages, magicians, basically. Since it doesn't concern you, I'll skip the part about how Magecraft and magic are not the same. All you need to remember is that they are two different things. Mages, as an absolute rule, must operate in secrecy. Naturally, mages will find out about other mages, so it's only a crime if an outsider like you finds out about one of us. A crime punishable by death, I should add. The reason being that the more Magecraft is exposed, the weaker it becomes. You will often hear us say mystic or mystery, which come from a Greek word that means to shut the mouth. It follows that Magecraft could cease to be if its secrets were revealed. Civilization has always treated the unexplored and the unknown as things to be feared because of their mysterious nature. But we don't hide ourselves because we fear persecution, if we're discovered. What we fear is the loss of the unknown itself. When our arts are revealed, they become weaker. So by protecting our secrecy, we're also protecting our own future.
I'm not clear on how Magecraft works yet, but I think what you're saying is if you don't keep it secret, it gets weaker. So then, does that mean you got weaker now that I saw you, Ozaki?
No, not particularly. Let me explain in a little more detail. When I say it loses power, I mean Magecraft as a whole will get weaker in the future. I'm not talking about individuals. The unwritten law that thou shalt conceal thyself was an adage from a bygone age, but at one point it became a law of the highest order. It's like laws in a civilized society. We like to think that it's human nature to punish crime and immorality, but ultimately, a structural solution is needed to maintain order. If crimes were left unpunished, the society we strive so hard to build could collapse. And what we mages consider to be a crime is dissemination and vulgarization of the mystic. Merely mortal things like murder, well, those are a matter of perspective, and they generally are considered to be outright crimes. The good-for-nothing bunch responsible for imposing this law is a group called the Mages Association. Think of them as a labor union. The phrase, make eternal the mysticism of Magecraft, is nothing more than a rule they created to perpetuate Magecraft itself. Nevertheless, the rule is absolute. Those who violate it cease to exist in the magical world. Or rather, it could be difficult for them to go on living at all. For us, that's our... well, our life as mages, I guess. In order to protect it, we had no choice but to erase you, the witness to our Magecraft. Don't give me those puppy dog eyes! Just because you know a little about our lives doesn't mean we're not fessing up to what happened at the amusement park. It was our decision to try and kill you. It wasn't anyone else's fault. So if you're going to blame anyone, blame me. Okay, back to the topic. The Mages Association being compared to a labor union is hilariously accurate in the most horrifying way. It's a weird one. I do like the lore about mages, though.
Showing her Rin DNA by calling the labor union good for nothing.
Oh. In the past, mages were recognized in society enough for it to be considered an occupation, but they took their own magecraft with them to their graves. I don't know what led to things getting so twisted, but even the profession itself has to be kept secret these days. If they didn't go that far, the association feared that in the distant future, magecraft could be used up and the association could fall apart. We had reached a point where everything became explainable through human knowledge. From the building blocks of nature to the fabric of the cosmos, once considered to be the realm of the gods. Maybe the founders believed that magecraft could become the last bastion for the unknown. For mystics, that which is beyond human reach. Or maybe they thought that in the long run, magecraft could eventually become meaningless. Whatever the reason, mages hid their identities and passed on individual rituals in secret. And since they couldn't pass it on to outsiders, it was only natural that they taught it to descendants. Alice and I are both products of generations of lineage. The Mages Association I mentioned earlier is a vast organization that governs those Magecraft wielders still dedicated to their field. Mages think of them as their ruling body. The association is actually made up of a bunch of factions, and the vast majority of mages are affiliated with the London chapter. The law to conceal ourselves was one of their 3 main principles. If a mage reveals their secret to a civilian, the association is quick to make an example of them. Bird! Yeah, Robin is there! But even if the mage doesn't get punished, the witness should still be eliminated to protect the mage and their family's magecraft. And that was the end of the first part of the lecture. Aoko paused for a moment. Sojourn was doing his best to process the information. Ready to move on?
Sure, but let me see if I understand so far. Mages used to hide their identities not for their own sake, but for the sake of Magecraft. Now, they're more concerned with hiding themselves. And if you break the rules, you'll be punished by a place called the Association. Does that mean that you two are members of the Association?
No, we're freelance, though we walk in similar circles. They're simply the largest organized group. Even though no one asked them to, they've taken it upon themselves to police the world of Magecraft. So no matter how unaffiliated we are as mages, if we break the rules, we will get punished anyway.
Okay, I think I got the gist of it.
I do love the, no, we're not part of it, but they just took it upon themselves to police the whole thing. You forgot that Alice was in the room. She's just taking a nap.
Live Alice reaction.
It's alright. Just focus on the parts important to you. Next is Magecraft, though I barely learned enough to talk about it myself. Sorry, forget I said that. I touched on this already, but these days, Magecraft is losing its meaning. If you created fire a long time ago, when there were no lighters, that was enough to count as a mystic feat. But nowadays, life is awfully convenient, right? Cheerful people can appreciate that. Sojourn nodded with a glum look on his face. He had been made painfully aware of such conveniences. Difficult tasks that could occupy an entire day of work in the mountains could be performed easily here. Yeah?
That's super interesting, using him as the contrast point here.
Yeah! For him, having been brought up in the mountains without electricity or running water, city life was by definition magic. He only wished it could not be such back-breaking work to adapt to said conveniences.
Oh. I do think that creating fire without tools should be a god's job, though.
Even though we've worked out how to do it more efficiently with a flamethrower? Sojourn wasn't sure how to answer Aoko. That's a really funny comparison, girl. It could have been easy for him to ask Aoko how much accumulated effort she thought it had taken humans to imitate those gods, but he knew it could come across as an insult.
From what I just saw, I was under the impression that Magecraft could do anything, but maybe I misunderstood.
He glanced at the glass bottle on the table. Mentally, he sighed in relief. He still had not come to terms with the fact that he had been trapped inside that tiny thing. However... Oh, that's a misunderstanding, alright. If Magecraft wasn't all-powerful, why would anyone bother to learn it? Aoko puffed out her chest as she chatted him. It might take some doing, but there's nothing Magecraft can't do. Granted, some users are able to trick you into thinking something's possible when it really isn't. But since we were born into this world, there's nothing that we can't do within its limits. Besides true magic, of course, but we'll get into that some other time. Yes, please, girl. I need to learn about true magic from you. I need to know what the fuck is going on. What I'm trying to say is that Magecraft doesn't create miracles. It's only the process that is miraculous. To produce a real miracle, you need true magic. A great mage is someone who can fly a passenger jet with only their own Magecraft. Meanwhile, a magician deals in making the impossible possible. Which is why we might just turn out to be the last magicians.
Focus, Aoko. Yeah.
We? Now I may be misunderstanding that sentence, but that is very, very interesting phrasing, Aoko. Alice had been quietly listening until she muttered her rebuke, as if Aoko had crossed the line.
He doesn't need to know that. Shouldn't we be educating Shizuki on the dangers of living with us?
You're a bit low there.
What?
At least with Alice's voice.
I'm gonna scream.
Sorry about that.
Will I be able to adjust my gain if this fucking thing would load?
I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna cry, girl.
Sorry, your right slip of the tongue. New blushy Aoko sprite. And also, Alice definitely knew already and doesn't want her to run her fucking mouth about it. Anyway, mages spend every waking moment experimenting in Magecraft and could become devils in a heartbeat in order to protect their Magecraft, by which I mean their family secrets. Their lairs, which we call workshops, are like fortresses packed with all kinds of magical mechanisms. Hey, Heavy, hi! Like traps that kill intruders before they know what hit them. It's all to protect our secrets. This mansion is no different. If you wind up trapped like you were before because you wander around carelessly, even I won't be able to help you, so be careful of the dark. You might even find yourself stuck inside a mirror. Seriously, that can actually happen. Why did you have a fucking mirror fucking mind waiting to catch Sojiro, please, girl?
God.
He's so sad.
This poor guy.
He's such a pathetic little meow meow.
He's so sad. He's got such a sad little face.
Oh. Sojiro so hoped they could provide him with a general idea of what to watch out for, but he passed, knowing that he was unlikely to get a straight answer. Sorry, I feel like you could draw him in a glue trap and it couldn't be implausible.
Tiny little Sojiro in the glue trap. Oh no, he's so small, he fell and he can't get out.
God. That was a lot to take in one go, but my point is, keep your nose out of where it doesn't belong. Even though we're going to erase your memory in the end, there are still things that we'd have to kill you for seeing.
Got it. The mansion has rules I have to follow. I understand. Is there anything else I should...
His eyes wandered as he trailed off mid-sentence, pondering. He understood that the mansion was more dangerous than outside, and that Magecraft needed to stay secret. But the explanation seemed to contradict his current problem. For starters, how he managed to witness something that they took such pains to keep hidden.
I'm sorry, it just occurred to me. Mages are all united under the organization called the Association, right? If that's the case, why were you attacked by that puppet, Azaki? If its master was a mage, wouldn't that mean you were fighting an ally? Am I missing something here?
I was saving that for last. Normally this could be the point in the story where you'd say I made it all up or laugh it off. Even if you've experienced it, the existence of Magecraft shouldn't be something you accept so easily. Aoko scratched her head as though troubled by how Sojiro could take every word at face value. You could save him and clean him and make sure he's all nice and cozy. I mean, isn't this chapter called like dog something? Across from her, Alice's face betrayed no expression, but she shared the same opinion.
Is that so weird?
It's mega weird. In fact, you've been weird from the get-go. A normal person could be shocked, scared, and willing to accept her existence. Why don't you of all people believe me when I say I'm a magician? In retrospect, this question should have been posed at the House of Mirrors. Back then, though Sojiro was surprised by seeing the phenomenon of Magecraft for the first time, he showed no surprise or discomfort toward Aoko, the mage wielding it. Feeling the probing stares of the two girls, no, the two mages, made Sojiro feel uneasy. From where he was standing, their suspicion was suspicious in and of itself.
There's no reason at all, really. Up in the mountains, people just accept things as they are. We don't deny something we see in front of us just because we don't have the knowledge to explain it. You said it yourself. Lighters and magic might as well be the same thing, right?
Though they weren't really the same to him anymore, he added Though they weren't really the same to him anymore, he added quietly before shutting up. What he said about those innocent days in the mountains had come from the heart. And the words resonated with not only Aoko, but also Alice. It was something everyone should have, principles to stand by. Indeed, to this boy, those words were an unshakable truth. Some things are the way they are. I see what you're saying. She was impressed, if only slightly. If this boy, no matter how much of an outlier he was, could accept the things around him, he could be able to get through this just fine. That's a good way of explaining it, Sojiro. I guess the fault's with us for not believing you sincerely. Much like when Aoko met Sojiro for the first time. In that classroom on his first day, Sojiro took everything that was happening in his stride. The memory brought a bitter smile to Aoko's face. Hey, hey, the pride! God, I love the fucking everything in this game. Alright, let's get back on track. To your earlier question, for various reasons there are mages that do not belong to the association at all. They do as they please behind the association's back and fight other mages for their personal gain. That puppet's master is one of those types. To those jerkwats, we're a convenient, easy target. But just because we have an arrangement with the association, doesn't mean we're one of them. It's not like they will come to save the day if we're at risk of being killed.
But aren't mages forbidden from using magecraft?
As long as it's not in public, the association turns a blind eye. Hell, they practically encourage fights between mages as long as it's kept a secret. Like if we don't use it, we'll get rusty or something. Anyway, the attacks on us are a different story and have to do with the fact that we own land.
By land, you mean this house?
Oh, please. Just this house? Alice and I hold the rights to the entirety of Misaki City. We're administrators of the whole region.
Administrators? You own all the land in Misaki.
That's so fucking funny. Girl, I love Sojiro so much. Dazzled, Sojiro looked away. He was sure he could see a halo of light around Aoko. He had only been renting an apartment for 2 weeks, but he was already aware of how magnificent the prospect of owning land in the city might be.
Oh.
The word Sojiro was trying to articulate was rich. He shook all over with an emotion he did not fully grasp. Hold it. You're thinking about this all wrong. When we say land, we're talking about the ownership and control of spiritual grounds as mages. The Ozaki family might be a minor player, but we've got all roots here as mages, which is why Misaki falls under our jurisdiction. When I say we administer the land, I'm talking about a place where spiritual power is stored and gathers easily. This type of land has always been valuable, and it's vital to the experimentation and practice of Magecraft. After all, the 3 pillars of what makes a successful mages are a strong workshop, lots of disciples, and fertile spiritual grounds. Do you love that for all the magic stuff in the Nasuverse, most mage conflicts are just land ownership fights? Yeah! That do be how it happened. I also love that Sojiro was ready to accept that Aoko and Alice are just mages, but he learned that they're rich and he's like, oh my god.
It's genuinely so funny. Like, these people have the power to destroy him, and he's like...
To us, owning administered land and the residents to live in are #1 on our priority list. Sojiro let her continue while wondering exactly who these 2 girls were to have achieved both ambitions already. However, most sacred grounds have already been claimed by the association. There's nothing left for anyone else. Rogue and landless mages have no choice but to borrow land from the organization in exchange for a monthly donation. They're basically worker bees, slaving away for the top dogs at the association. But this land here, it's been in my family for hundreds of years, so the association can't get their grubby hands on it. Do you understand what I'm saying, Sojiro? To rogue mages, our land is the juiciest fruit there is. Sojiro nodded to himself, unsure whether to call the conversation mundane or outright disturbing.
I get it. So, you're basically fighting over the land.
Pretty much. But because the administered land of Misaki is so minor, its challengers have all been third-rate. The enemy this time is probably some small fry thinking this place was low-hanging fruit. Though for now, we're on a ceasefire because of your intrusion.
Oh, Discord.
Oh no. Take your time, don't worry.
Come back. Hello.
How?
That's enough about administered land, Aoko.
Oh, please stream. I'm begging you.
I can leave and rejoin if
No, we're good.
Okay.
Shizuki seems to understand the point that there are other mages out there apart from us. If any danger exists, it's more likely to arise as a result of him becoming involved in one of our battles.
He'll be fine. Besides, this guy has zero trace of magical energy, so there's no chance of him being sans. Plus, he has less tactical value than a watchdog, so he shouldn't be a target anyway. We just have to make sure he doesn't escape before we can find the amnesia rune. Silence, woman. I want to hear more useless facts about how petty the Mages Association is. I do like seeing this side of the Nasuverse a bit more. Alice silently stared her partner down. Their ideas of involving Sojiro differed greatly in both gravity and risk. Aoko's lack of experience had led her to believe that Sojiro could not get directly involved in any fight. It was an honest and rational thought. Aoko despised wasted action, so it was natural for her to expect the same frugality from her enemies. However, there were those in this world who could not tell right from wrong until it was too late.
No one knows what the future will bring.
Sorry, my alarm started going off.
I only hope that when the time comes, we won't regret this.
With a gloomy sigh, Alice came to her feet. I'm not done with the lecture yet. You don't think that was entirely for Shizuki's benefit, do you? Your opinion matters the most, and we still haven't heard it yet.
If you must stick to your plan, that's fine. I'll stick to mine.
Alice glided soundlessly to the door. As the girl in black opened it, she paused, barely lit by the dim corridor. Then, without warning, to the rhythm of her footsteps, the small glass bottle floated into the air and shattered without mercy.
That is what I should have done earlier.
Her sharp tone made Sojiro's face go pale. Alice's voice was so quiet, it was hard to tell if she was being serious or mocking him.
I forgot to mention something.
She icily eyed them before turning away, and in a voice even colder than her gaze, stated,
I'm still not happy with this arrangement.
Her frigid departure seemed to forebode the many difficulties that lay ahead. Oh yeah, baby! She is such a sore loser! Aoko leaned back on the sofa while hurling abusive epithets. There we go. Her face looked even more irritated than usual. She says letting you go and letting you stay here are out of the question, but I don't see her coming up with any bright ideas. She's as stubborn as a mule. I couldn't put it past her to resort to violence to get her way. Sojiro threw a wary glance at Aoko while she grumbled. He wondered what Alice's show of defiance meant, shattering the glass bottle like she did. I thought I could convince her by including the backstop that we could erase her memory, but she's having none of it. It's rare that Alice is even cognizant of other people, but maybe having you live here was a step too far for her. She was fine while you were sleeping, but once she saw you awake, it must have roused her sadistic side. Yeah?
Yippee!
Watch your back, Sojiro. She just might come to finish you off. If anything, Aoko's warning was an indication that persuading Alice had hit a dead end.
Somehow it doesn't seem like the situation has changed much from the other night, Azaki.
She shot him an unconcerned look in reply.
I mean it, really. That girl is just itching to finish what you started. Next time I make eye contact with her, I might not walk away alive. It's supposed to be what people call a cliffhanger.
I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen. Besides, Alice isn't feeling as urgent as I was at the amusement park, so there's always a chance that she will get over it by herself.
You mean her reason for wanting me dead is different from yours?
Yeah, that time at the park was because of her strict adherence to the secrecy law, but we've solved it for now. Even Alice understands how creepily earnest you are. So she should have no reason left to worry about confidentiality. At this point, she probably just doesn't want you to live here, hence her desire to murder you. That's her home! That's her little workshop!
She just really doesn't want a roommate.
She said so matter-of-factly. Her eyes cold and serious. Sojiro had hoped for a trace of deceit or exaggeration, but alas.
I did get that impression from her. But it's strange. If that's how she really feels, then surely we can find another solution.
You could make a little doghouse outside. He doesn't have to stay in, you know? Perhaps feeling guilty about putting Alice out, Sojiro looked uncharacteristically concerned. Aoko immediately knew what his words really meant. You mean like keeping you locked up inside that tiny glass bottle until we find the Magecraft needed to erase your memory? The apathy in her voice until now was gone. Sojiro answered with a simple nod. In truth, it was undoubtedly the easiest solution for all parties concerned. However, Sojiro, I don't break promises. Remember that. She hated taking the easy way out. And that quiet fury was clear in her soft words. As for where that fury was directed, Sojiro was acutely aware. The pain in his chest made him regret making her say those words.
I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking.
His sudden apology caused her usual sullen expression to return. Aoko had not appreciated how angry she was, let alone the reason for it. To her, his apology had come out of nowhere. I don't get you at all sometimes. What are you apologizing for this time? She stared at Sojiro, unblinking.
I'm not sure myself. I guess I just felt like I should.
Even in saying he was not sure, Sojiro had answered honestly. Aoko was at a loss for words.
But I get what you're trying to say, Azaki. Keeping a promise is more about the process than the outcome.
He shut her a brazenly honest smile. That smiling face, filled with blissful ignorance, almost made her smile back instinctively. Now you get it! If life were only a means to an end, I couldn't live with myself. Aoko attempted to cover for her embarrassment with a quick retort. Though unintentional, having her true feelings exposed like that made Aoko a little uncomfortable. Finding offense in something was second nature to Aoko. Being made to feel uncomfortable was not. Though far from being unhappy at the remark, she turned away from its speaker. To disguise her perceived shame, Aoko started up the conversation again. If I say I'll let you go, you can be sure I'm going to do just that, regardless of how I feel. And if letting you live here is what it takes to keep my promise, I can take it, even if it means Alice and I butt heads. Even if they're just idle threats, there's no way I could let her bottle you up forever.
Thanks. I get why you've tried, or why you've given up trying to persuade her. She won't be persuaded anymore. Oh, so that's why you called it a Cold War.
It's not as if I'm doing this for you. I'm just keeping my promise. Like you said, I've done my part. Now it's your turn, Sojiro. The ball's in your court.
Huh?
He replied, tilting his head. Alright, listen up. I spent 2 entire days arguing and trying to convince Alice into agreeing to this cohabitation idea because, hello, I was the only one capable of doing it. But I've hit a dead end. From now on, I'm taking a hands-off approach. I'll protect you from Alice for the time being, but in the meantime, you're the only one who can convince her to accept you, Sojiro.
What?
Sojiro had not expected that at all. Alice Kuonji. The girl in black who kept everyone at arm's length. If Aoko was a modern-day mage in hiding, then Alice was a bona fide witch from the Middle Ages.
Aosaki, you understand how difficult that will be, right?
Of course I do, and now you know how I feel. Aoko stood up from the sofa. This was the end of the discussion, at least for now. So now you have an idea of what kind of people we are. The less involved you are in Magecraft, the better, so I'll spare you any further lectures. The long and short of it is, you will be living here for 3 months. Your first objective, or first trial if you like, is to somehow get Alice to accept you as her roommate.
A trial? You just called it a trial.
Sugarcoating it won't do you any favors. After all, blow it and you're a dead man, remember? With her cold-blooded remark, Aoko started walking toward the door. Oh, and one more thing. About your room, it's up on the 3rd floor. There's a set of stairs on the far side of the 2nd floor hall, so use those. Also, this is not a dorm, so you're free to spend your time however you want. But whatever you do, do not go into the West Wing. I rent the East Wing, so it should be relatively safe in comparison. But still, it's generally safer to not wander around. In other words, the safest places for you are your room and the drawing room.
Wait, is that really all you're gonna tell me about the mansion? Aosaki, that's messed up. That seems way more important to explain than Magecraft.
He desperately called out to her as she began to leave the drawing room. Aoko could not help but feel his Sojiro. Oh my fucking god. That's so fucking funny, girl.
Can't you at least show me around?
Sorry, but I'll have to pass. Showing a country bumpkin the lay of the land twice is plenty enough for me. Plus, you just woke up. Why not take it easy in your room for the rest of the night? I'll show you how to get to school in the morning. It's not like I'm made of free time. My obligation to put up with you ends as soon as final exams are over. If you don't find some way to make nice with Alice, or find some way to blackmail her within a week, well, you know what that means. With barely a wave of goodbye, the student council tyrant walked out. I love how much you can tell that she's enjoying this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a bad situation, but also she's kind of getting, like, her kicks out of it.
He unconsciously clenched the hand that he had raised. Left all alone, he was at a complete loss. Then, as if to encourage him, chirp, chirp, chirp. With the sound of lightly fluttering wings, a blue robin appeared out of nowhere. The tiny, chubby bird innocently looked Sojiro up and down. The blue robin, a bird said to bring happiness according to folklore, flapped its little wings as if to cheer him on. Then, with a flutter, it mercilessly flicked off the lights.
This poor boy.
Leaving Sojiro alone in the drawing room, Aoko returned to her bedroom. I fucking love that so much. She closed the door to her room, and as soon as she sat on her bed, she was overcome by an unexpected wave of exhaustion. Sojiro had no way of knowing, but she had been preparing for war. In the event that Alice impulsively pulled out a ploy, Aoko had to be ready to react in an instant. She sighed heavily, but not from the fatigue she felt at fighting with Alice. Was I too hard with him? She frowned a dejected frown. What weighed on Aoko's mind was not Alice. I mean, going easy on him couldn't do him any favors either. The best thing he can do for himself is to lay low. It could be trouble if he wandered around like he owned the place, after all. The safest thing for him could be if he holed up inside his room, too scared out of his wits to leave it. God, I hope he doesn't think I'm his ally or something. Alice is the lucky one. I'd kill to have him treat me as a stranger. She nodded to herself, agreeing with her take on the situation. For the most part, it was a sound plan. If there were a problem, it could be this.
Sorry, Aozaki. I just have one quick question.
Have we gotten a proper look at the whole of her room yet?
I don't know if we have, but I love what I'm seeing. Girl's got a fucking guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we saw this. We saw the guitar through the window, I think, at the very beginning, but I don't think we saw this. Yeah.
This is such a room-ass room.
Not 10 minutes had passed since leaving him in the drawing room. For Sojiro to shirk off what she said and visit her room so fast, it was like he had no sense of danger at all.
I need to go outside.
Of course he could ask to leave the house. Aoko lacked the energy for a sarcastic barb.
I won't wander around the mansion. I'll come right back when I'm finished. I just figured I should check if there was a curfew or anything.
Work, is it?
How did you know?
Sojiro exclaimed in surprise, when it was Aoko who desired to display her shock at him. Fine, you can go. You should make sure you're back on the estate by 10 every night. As long as you keep to the curfew, you can go work at your after-school job. Have a barbecue in the garden, do whatever you want, I don't care. The front door is never locked anyway.
I get the impression you're, angry with me.
I'm angry, alright, just not with you. I'm angry at myself for caring what happens to you. And before you go out, take this pill. We're giving him drugs now! Yay!
Yes.
Sojiro took the purple pill from her outstretched hand and dubiously put it in his mouth. He told himself that it must have been some kind of medicine.
Alright, I'm off then. Thanks for everything, Aozaki.
Oh, and don't leap through the window this time, okay? Sojiro laughed himself all the way to the foyer, unsure of what exactly he had found funny. Aoko watched him go, both indifferent and amazed all at once.
So we are 2 for 2 on grumpy tsunderes giving their idiot boys strange medication.
Yeah, That's just what mages do. Well, that happened about half a day earlier than planned. He was supposed to take his first pill tomorrow morning.
It's his heartworm medication.
She huffed, ruffling her hair in exasperation, returning to her room. Discerning what made Sojiro take was a waste of brain matter. In all likeliness, he was more concerned about missing 2 days of work than his own well-being after being bedridden for 2 days. God, what a fucking boy. With the day's work behind him, Sojiro returned to the mansion.
This must be it. It's the only set of stairs leading up from the second floor hall.
It was just before midnight. This was the scene that awaited him beyond the rickety staircase. Not much surprised, Sojiro. Or rather, being surprised had become normal to him. The scene, however, was enough to leave him speechless. The room allotted to Sojiro, no matter how he looked at it, no matter how he ran it through his mind, was without a shadow of a doubt an attic.
This looks just like Karen's room from the church.
This looks a little bit like Karen's room, yeah. This treatment stirred a tinge of anxiety in him. Just as he was about to flop onto the taut sheets of his bed, wondering if he could make this work despite his share of other problems, he noticed an awkward courtesy so meager as to be useless. Something to use if you get cold. Consider it a gift. The message in the memo pointed to the meticulous personality of the author. The bed had been perfectly prepared. Carefully, setting aside the blanket that had been painstakingly placed on the edge of the bed for him in case he needed it, he looked up at the sky. Though faint, the stars twinkled through the skylight. For a mountain boy, that meager light was more than enough for him. The stark contrast with the drawing room had caught him off guard, but now that he had collected himself, it was not so bad. This room fit his personality. Even if he still was not used to the building, he felt more at ease here than he did in any building in the city. Perhaps because it was built on a hill, surrounded by woods. The atmosphere here was a little closer to the mountains where he used to live.
Oh, is it normal for there to be fog inside the house?
He crooked his neck, pondering over the spectacle he had witnessed. On the way to his room, Sojiro had encountered what looked like fog in the foyer on the second floor. The misty fog drifted into a portion of the corridor, reminding him of a swarm of mosquitoes. As he stared at it, he swore he could make out a strange landscape, and as he moved closer to get a better look, again out of nowhere, here inside of the mansion, a little bluebird darted purposefully in front of him.
Bird?
The bird caught his attention, stopping him in his tracks. When he looked to check on the fog again, the strange scene had disappeared.
This house must have a draft. I'll ask Ozaki about it tomorrow.
He muttered to himself as he sat on the bed. He's so fucking stupid, Chad. Jesus Christ. Meager as it was, the starlight peeping in through the skylight calmed him.
Yeah, this'll work.
Exhaling slowly, he laid down. For the time being, he had the essentials needed to live, and his bed was many times softer than it appeared. Thinking his worries seemed smaller than they were, he quickly drifted off to sleep. That was the story of from when he opened his eyes to when he fell asleep. Just like that, the short night following the long night was over. For one thing was true. Sojiro was an optimist to a fault, but he wasn't the end of the world. But it wasn't the end of the world. Yeah, he can do it. He can live with it. It's fine. Now let us rewind 5 hours prior to this glutton for punishment going to bed. It was 7 o'clock in the evening, just after the unproductive discussion between the two mages and the boy had ended. Leaving her roommate and their intruder in the drawing room, the girl walked alone to the foyer. From there, she headed to the west wing. Those were Alice Kuonji's personal chambers, in which even her roommate, Aoko Ozaki, seldom dared to step foot. The foyer was illuminated only by pale moonlight. Her footsteps echoed through the dreary, moonlit lobby. In such mansions in Japan, there was no custom for removing shoes at the door. Hence, Alice crossed the foyer in her boots. She only removed them when she relaxed in her bedroom. Suddenly, she remembered something from her childhood. She used to enjoy the feeling of the cold hardwood floor on her bare feet, and would walk around the foyer on particularly sunny days. After her father affectionately scolded her for it, she never did it again.
And I don't know why I bother. Aoko never does.
She let out a quiet sigh. Alice's new roommate, whom she took on after coming to Japan, could not comply with her instructions. All habits die hard, Aoko could say, changing into her slippers. Aoko might have found it natural to do so, given that she lived in a typical Japanese house through middle school, but every time Alice heard her flip-flopping through the foyer, she wanted to cancel their cohabitation. By now, Alice was not particularly bothered by it anymore. Human adaptability was remarkable at times and ungracious at others. The emotional attachments of the past had proven far too brittle under the weight of reality. A little bluebird was perched on the banister. Its tiny chirping made Alice stop and look its way.
Leave him be for tonight. Right now, he's Aoko's problem.
The lack of feeling in her voice made the bird tilt its head as it sang. Tweet, tweet, tweet. It trilled as though questioning its master's uncharacteristic leniency.
Promise is a promise. I can at least tolerate him for tonight. Aoko and the boy did go to such lengths, after all.
She said to the bird, her voice betraying her discontent. If you win, I'll let you go. She could keep that promise in spite of the unquenchable desire to fight that burn in her chest.
But I didn't make any guarantees after that. She scraped a win even with a handicap in our little game. But I won't let her strut around childishly rubbing it in my face forever.
The text log to replay the bird's voice lines. There's no voice lines, he just chirps. Yeah. Nani?
What?
What do you mean? 1 second.
I'm sorry, what?
1 second! Nani? I know, there's... Nani?
Excuse me?
Its tiny chirping made Alice stop and look its way. They're talking! They're fucking talking! They've been talking this whole time, wait!
Are we learning lore from game settings?
Okay. I imagine if the game wants me to fucking listen to what the bird wants to say, they will have translations at some point in the future. But oh my god.
Oh my god. Like, I figured they were talking, but I didn't think there would be words.
Well, perhaps it was perfectionism born of fastidiousness, but despite her prim demeanor, Alice Kuonji was a sore loser. It did not matter to her whose Magecraft was superior. Losing the game had proven hard to move from. The little bird fluttered its wings in agreement. Drinking in Alice's contempt, it was itching to dive bomb the invader.
エレガンティック。やっぱアリスさんはパーフェクトっす。クールな顔して相手を呪い詰めるところとか、マジリスペクト。
Much respect? Much respecto? It's speaking in English!
Fascinating.
It looked like a soldier saluting a superior officer as it preened itself. Yeah, like, from what I could heard from that, Robin just fucking glazed her. The bluebird turned to face its master. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Tweet, tweet, tweet. This is so funny.
じゃあ、明日朝一でリベンジっすか？
Revenge? Revenji?
じゃあ、明日朝一でリベンジっすか？
Okay, asking for if she's gonna go for some kind of revenge, I imagine. Its light-hearted tweeting seemed to display a desire to deal with Sojiro first thing in the morning. Yeah, baby! I fucking love this!
そうね。理由さえできたのなら。
If he gives us a reason, let's put him in a bottle. Or perhaps a book.
And I can just imagine you crossing your fingers like, yes!
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Except her words lacked any bite. On the face of it, they were the chilling kind one might come to expect from a witch's lips. But then again, so tame as to remind you of a certain robin's flapping.
理由ないとダメなんすか？
Opens her closet of dozens of photos. Ah.
しばらくの話よ。けど、
It's only a matter of time. There's not very
私の
much
我
at
慢は
that.
長くは続かないし。
My patience has its limits.
だいたい、青子も人にかまけて
Aoko
い
is
られる
in no
立場じゃない
position to dote on others in
わ。
the
5日も
first
すれば
place.
思い知るでしょう。
I gave her 5
So sad.
days, and then...
When that time came, expelling him would be simple. Alice was well aware her roommate was a pragmatist with no vision. The situation she'd created could not allow her to wait around. She could only afford to protect that boy for 3 or 4 days at most. Beyond that, Alice sensed Aoko could crack and say something like, "You take care of this,
それまで
Alice."
待つか。あるいは、私の我
Will I
慢は
wait
効かなく
until
なる
then?
か。
Or lose my patience first?
どちらにしても、結果は
Whichever
変わら
comes
ないわ。
first, the end result will be the same.
Alice Kuonji could suffer no more irritations. Unprotecting a witness, let alone allowing them to live in her mansion, was an indignity. Alice looked up, fascinated by the dense fog that had crawled into the foyer. Above the fireplace was a single mirror. Roughly 3 feet in diameter, it decorated the wall where one might find a painting. Its surface was faintly clouded and vaguely reflected the foyer's appearance.
スナークをなくした影響でしょうね。
This is what I get for losing the snark.
鏡の機能。しば
I
らくは
suppose
制
that
御で
means
き
the
ない。
mirror is out of commission for the time being.
The little bird joyfully chirped at its master's mumbling. Making sure I didn't miss any. Oh, that's just like her sighing.
シート。でもちょうどいいっす。うまくいけばあのシャバ像、勝手に鏡に入って自滅とか、マジウケる。
It did say shit at the beginning, right?
シート。でもちょうどいいっす。
The bird attempted to imply that there was no need for her to lift a finger, not if the nuisance could fall into the mirror of his own accord. Or perhaps Had the little bird had not sung, Alice would have come to the same conclusion. For some reason, she recalled an earlier conversation.
これでも一番無難だと思う。
How about now? Still think this is the safest option.
In response to her question, the boy inside the bottle shrugged his shoulders and answered. From his perspective, the city and the mansion were no different. It seemed that having just moved from the countryside, everything was something he had never seen before.
I'm not proud of it, but I still have trouble writing. The city rules are so complicated that I don't even know right from wrong.
More than embarrassment, his voice was full of resentment. He was angry about something, though Alice could not tell what. But...
That's why no matter where I go, I'm always in danger. Maybe an exaggeration, but even walking down the street or talking to someone makes me anxious. No matter where I am, there's no guarantee I'll make it out. But here, there's someone that might show concern for a person like me. Sure, my reasoning is a little messed up, but I've never known such luxury.
Rice welled up ever so slightly. Look at that. I love that.
Oh, that's good.
That's not even a CG. That's just the silhouette of her sprite overlaid on the fucking background. Oh my god, it's so good though. Those softwords were something she could not brush off. Because they made sense to her. Given that everything in the city was a danger to him, nothing had changed after coming to the mansion. In reality, he had no reason to fear this place in particular. If anything was different from the outside, it could be that someone here was his ally. With that view, he had been entirely sincere. His explanation hadn't contained any flattery towards Alice Kuonji, nor pandering to Aoko Ozaki. He was simply speaking from the heart. I like it here.
今、鏡に迷い込まれるのは迷惑ね。
Perhaps having him wander into the mirror is more trouble than it's worth right now.
鏡の機能は侵入者の探索に専念させ
I
た
want
い
to
し、
dedicate the mirror's function to
彼が迷い
searching
込
for
みそうになったら
intruders.
止めてあげて。
So if it looks like he's going to be swallowed up by it, do stop him, will you?
The bird shook its feathers at her strange instruction. Oh, there's nothing there. Alice looked away from the mirror and continued her walk. The bird chirped in protest.
ちょ、ありえないっす。アリスさん、鬼まずいもんでも食ったっすか？助けてやるとか、後回しとか、アリスさんにあるまじき乙女ワードっす。
Ah, couldn't understand much, but I do think this is a... You're going too soft on
あなた
him.
の仕事よ、ロビー。それぐらいの役には立って。
It is your job, Robin. At least get that right, would you?
Leaving the bird with that icy retort, she vanished into the west wing. All that remained was the moonlight. And the little blue bird, trembling at the perilous prospect of an unprecedented change.
ライバル出現の予感っす。
Something about a rival, huh? Incredible that they gave the fucking bird, like, voice lines. Secretly.
That we don't even get.
Oh. Sorry, the next chapter name is Are You For Real? God almighty. Our boy is about to have beef with the bird.
Just like the lab tech.
Oh. Let's keep going. Let's see where this fucking goes. I do love this new, like, arrangement of everything. This dynamic is gonna be really good. Getting jealous of the new pet they brought home! Once long ago, I saw a beautiful bird fly overhead. Round and round, it circled the distant blue sky. How high it flew in this era when humans, not birds, reigned supreme. And yet the bird was completely uninterested in humanity's endless desire for expansion, or creation of even higher homes, or the smoke bellowing from industry's chimneys. The sky extends further than the eye can see. It belongs to no one, not now, not then. The bird was a truly noble creature, flapping its wings powerfully across the wild, ancient sky. Until the sudden sound of cold iron. A wing is shot, its symmetry gone forever. Cruel and tragic, its body plummets downwards. Not knowing its fate, the bird frantically beats its wings till the very end. One moment soaring with eyes to the sky, the next crashing down to the dry, hardened earth. This was the dream I saw. No matter how much I thought about it, the details remained clouded. What did that bird look like, for instance? How interesting! Okay. Hot teacher.
The hot teacher. Alright, class dismissed. That's everything that'll be on the test. Please don't share it with the other classes. You're the only ones I'm telling. Think of it as a homeroom bonus. Remember, if this class gets the highest scores, you can brag about it to all the other classes.
Mr. Yamashiro chuckled as he finished. This was typical of the kind teacher responsible for Year 2, Class C, the master at relaxing his pupils. I think you got that backward, Mr. Yamashiro. You're the one who's after bragging rights. If you want to take an alternate voices of random.
Fully dissociated.
No!
Yeah, then he can finally get Mr. Satonaka off his back. We know he's been making fun of you all semester for our bad grades, sir.
Duh, we're like total washouts except for totally excellent sports skills.
Please, though it might not mean much coming from me, high school is about more than just your test scores. Teachers don't really care that much about your grades, you know. Even if you all fail, it's not like anything bad will happen to us. There is one student who does bother me. I think you know who I'm talking about. You chose to represent the entire student body. A monumentally awful decision. Which makes a daily point to threaten to report me to the Board of Education, claiming my students' grades are the result of poor instruction rather than lack of studying. She said if student scores don't improve, she'd come supervise my classes herself. What kind of student even says such a thing?
The warm atmosphere in the room suddenly fell below freezing. The students of Class C now knew who their true enemy was. He's a little Taiga-ish, isn't he?
A little bit.
Right, I forgot Mr. Yamashiro was the student body advisor.
The student president managed to revive the cheer squad, so I wouldn't be surprised she could force a teacher out of their job too.
Yeah, I heard that she can guess teachers' ages with 100% accuracy. I can't believe she's the same age as us. I mean, look at her compared to the girls in her class. Her boobs are way bigger.
Oh my god, please get Kinomi moved to Class A, sir. It's hard enough with a class full of apes, but he's such a pig.
You know, that girl doesn't even get the grades for Class A, for a Class A member. Kinda middle of the pack, right?
That's the point, dumbass. She doesn't need to go cram school. She's on the student council and sometimes does a job or two. It'd be heinous if she got awesome grades too.
Totally. We should leave the good grades to the vice president.
Alright, that's enough gossiping, everyone. It's not nice to talk about people behind their backs. In any case, good luck with your studies. Remember, if your grades don't improve, then winter vacation gets cancelled. Oh, and Shizuki, can I have a word with you before you go?
Mr. Yamashiro gathered his things and beckoned for Sojiro to join him in the hallway. I really like the banter between students, just like alternating voices so much.
It's kind of fun, yeah.
There were no other students to be seen despite it being break time between classes. Voices were audible in the distance, but the hall itself felt strangely quiet and calm. Perhaps it was due to the sense of confinement created by the lack of windows. Usually, students spend their breaks either in their classroom or on the veranda.
Sorry. What is it, sir? Oh, nothing major. Sorry to bring this up right before exams, but I've been meaning to ask, how's everything going with school? You settling in alright?
Though this level of concern from a teacher startled him, Sojiro felt reassured. It was only natural. After having to deal with such difficult personalities lately, Mr. Yamashiro's trivial questions were refreshing.
Yeah, I think I understand the basics of school life for now. I've made friends too. Good, glad to hear it. Students in my class tend to mouth off, so don't take them too seriously. I'm glad you're able to fit in.
Sojiro's eyes shone brightly in appreciation. In Aoko's words, Mr. Yamashiro was a brutish, forgettable, downright detestable man who did not even deserve the title of teacher, but Sojiro found him considerate in his own way.
Take it easy with your part-time jobs. We give students a lot of time off before exams, but don't push yourself too hard. And if you have trouble with the exams, just ask the other students for help. No need to suffer in silence. If the school has anything, it's plenty of people to talk to.
I'm trapped in Osaki's house. Tell me about it. Can't get her off my back either. No, please. I'm trapped in her house. In a little bottle. With a wave of his hand, Mr. Yamashiro was gone. The pure-hearted Sojiro gave him a solemn nod, as if to say he accepted the advice of his so-called forgettable teacher, and went back to his classroom. And then... Come again? You want my advice about girls? Sojiro had not wasted a moment in putting Mr. Yamashiro's advice into practice.
Yeah, it's like I've hit a wall with them. I thought about it, but I realized I'm no good at figuring them out.
Sojiro averted his eyes out of shame over his lack of insight. You could have fooled me! I thought you were a man with the ladies! Well, you came to the right guy! Follow me! Shocked as he was, Kinomi grabbed Sojiro by the shoulder and pulled him over to the wall. Kinomi had nearly burst out laughing when Sojiro, with a straight face, had admitted his difficulty with girls. But he realized it was the first time Sojiro had ever turned to him for advice.
Just don't ask this guy.
God. Sojiro was always able to break down any task at his part-time jobs into bite-sized pieces, but he was clearly struggling with a different problem now. This was going to take some serious effort. Okay, give it to me straight, pal. How big did you screw up?
I didn't screw up yet, but it might happen soon. Let's just say a girl walked into the Mad Bear, who's as prickly as a porcupine. She doesn't like me and wants me to leave, but I don't want to.
Sojiro explained that he couldn't just quit his part-time job at the restaurant. He needed the money. Hinomi grunted a few times to indicate he was still following Sojiro's story. So, like, you want the girl to split?
No, I want her to be okay with me working there. Because the thing is, I sort of don't not like her.
Sojiro furrowed his brow. Hinomi could not help but laugh at his friend's lack of manly resolve in his answer. Girls were the one area where Hosuke's skills and experience were triple those of Sojiro, cracking my knuckles.
This is so fucking cute, dude.
Now I see. That's just the art of flirting, man. You want to get along with her, right? 0 times 3 equals 0. Sojiro wasn't sure how to respond. He nodded slowly without really understanding the implication of what Hinomi had said.
But I don't know what to do. How can I get along with girls my age?
You talk to girls in our class all the time. Honestly, you make all the other guys look bad. You're natural at it. Just keep being your usual clueless self and I'm sure you'll be fine. Being raised in the mountains makes you Mr. Mysterious. You gotta use that unique identity to your advantage.
Really? I don't think being unusual is such a good thing, though. Like, how do you talk to someone who hates your guts? People in class are nice, but I'm dealing with a thorny beast here. Or maybe a hedgehog is a better metaphor.
Don't be a chicken, man! You know what they say, a tiny thorn can stop a lion. She'll come around. Sojiro's brow sunk deeper still.
All these abstract metaphors are too much for me.
He needed more concrete material to work with. Come on, dude! You got to put in the work to get on a girl's good side. First ask about her hobbies and stuff she likes, then go from there. Think about what she wants, not what you want. You gotta blitz them from where they're weak, as they say.
You mean, don't be too direct?
You got it! And then comes the most important part, bribery. You gotta shower her with presents. If the supply matches the demand, she'll accept your gift even if she don't like you. Then you got her. She'll feel like she owes you one. Hinomi then proclaimed with an odd sense of pride that this approach had resulted in only failure for him.
There's just one problem, Kinomi. I get that girls like being taken out to dinner, but...
You can't afford it, I know. I got you covered. I'm gonna let you in a sweet little secret, an easy way to get you some cold hard dough.
I see. Bitcoin.
No!
You know it's up right now, just saying.
No. What is it up? 0.0002% from 1?
Well, it's more like it's up like 0.18. But it's really low, so that doesn't really matter. They
slid from the side of the classroom deeper to one corner. to in front of the lockers where no one ever stayed for long. It's done again in the 10 seconds we discussed this. Thank you, Dinty.
Dinty, shut up.
It could be days before Sojiro realized the suggestion he was receiving was of the illegitimate kind, the kind he should not have shared with anyone. Wait, I was about to joke like, oh, is he actually telling him to fucking do crimes?
I would believe it. I think we can make Sojiro a crime boy.
No, the boy. That night, dinner at the mansion was a feast of bread. Soft slices lay stacked in the center of the table, surrounded by variously colored jams. In a bowl was salad, mainly lettuce, with a small plate of unevenly cut ham. Sojiro may have had no frame of reference for what an average family dinner should be, but he could tell that this was most certainly not normal. In truth, it was a first-rate case of laziness. We're out of chocolate spread. Did I tell you to buy some more, Alice?
I've been locked away in my room all day. And more importantly, you're the only one that eats the stuff, so you should buy it.
For these two girls, however, this dinner seemed to be completely normal. They had a system of irregularly taking turns being in charge of meals, and tonight was Alice's turn. Normally, she could spend as little time and effort as possible, only truly applying herself when there was something to celebrate. Of course, Sojiro was none the wiser to Alice's unique approach to food preparation. For him, it was a plain, lackluster meal. And when it came to dinner, not saying anything to each other was another staple of their meals. The sounds of cutlery, the scraping of chairs, and the tick-tock of the clock were the only things to be heard in the sunroom. Sojiro himself had already eaten. At this moment, he was watching the goings-on from the drawing room. Your part-time job starts at 9, right, Sojiro? See you later then. Don't mind us.
Okay, I'll get going then.
Sojiro donned his coat with a goodbye nod. When Sojiro glanced again at the sunroom, he momentarily locked eyes with Alice, or so he imagined. She had been ignoring him all day, and not just refusing to talk to him, she had avoided so much as to not look at him all day until this very moment. He could understand if he was annoying her as the outsider in the mansion, but he felt no animosity in her gaze just now.
Maybe she was just glancing in the general direction of the drawing room.
Sojiro looked nervously at his surroundings for a moment before heading to the foyer. To make eye contact with her, dude, that's a threat indicator. Like a fucking gorilla. Oh. Alice only let her gaze return to normal when she was completely sure he was gone. So much drama. Aoko was appalled by Alice's brazen display. So much so, her immaculate veneer of apathy crumbled.
What's that, Aoko? Still upset over tonight's lack of chocolate.
I could be, but I'm so over-expecting. I'm so over-expecting other people to pull their weight. No, what I can't stand is your attitude. It's pretty sissy of you to pretend to ignore him while watching his every move. Could you be any more obvious with such a cheap trap?
I was not watching his every move. I could care less what he does, and mind how you use the word sissy. It reeks of sexism.
Based Alice?
Next time, just say you're a hypocrite, okay?
Well, look who suddenly found a soapbox! Awkward problematic media.
These two are so awful. I love them both so much.
Choosing not to rise to her roommate's jibe, Alice resumed eating. Aoko tore off pieces of bread and ate them one by one, anger still visible on her face. Forget whatever issues you and me have for a minute and take some advice from someone who knows a thing or two about messing with that boy. Maybe we need to cut him some slack. Hypothetically, let's say it turns out that he's a mage too. Then could you be okay with him living here?
Sure, but not for his benefit. I couldn't think of a more fitting punishment for you and I not recognizing his abilities sooner. So yes, hypothetically speaking, I would. But we can burn that bridge when we come to it. But until then, perhaps I should accept his presence here, perhaps not. I reserve the right to have whims of my own.
Think we're agreed. You can keep your chilly distance out of duty to me or personal pride, but if he shows signs of improving, then maybe...
Dream on. Doesn't matter what he does. He'll never change. As you very well know.
Alice had never been the type to let her guard down around others. The young witch despised humans, having recreated so many of their objects and fairy tales. You can't use being a witch as an excuse for every personal issue you have. Yet another example of you being sassy, if you ask me. It's fine if you dislike him, just come out and act like it. Stop trying to have it both ways.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, the audio glitched there for a moment. That if you want to ignore him, then ignore him for real. You're fortifying the castle walls while leaving the front gate wide open, waiting for him to make the horrible mistake of exactly what you're urging him to do. It's gross to watch. If you don't want him to come inside, then shut the damn door already.
I'm sorry, Aoko, you've lost me. Say that again in plain English.
Alice seemed unable to grasp Aoko's metaphor. Meanwhile, Aoko had it up to here with her roommate's lack of self-awareness and was starting to lose her cool. I think this may be one of my favorite Aoko faces in the entire VN.
She looks so weathered. It's beautiful.
If you really don't care, then quit worrying so much about him. If he notices you gawking at him, he might just get the wrong idea. If Rolly's thinking, Alice looked like she wanted to patch things up, maybe I should go stop by her room. Or even worse.
Oh, Discord stream, please.
Oh.
You really think so?
Yes! If it were me you were doing that to, I'd be dragging you out back and smacking you senseless, bitch!
Very well. I'll be more careful.
1 second. I do need to get this as a fucking CG very quickly.
This is my favorite, frame we have seen so far.
Oh yeah.
It's not like I want to talk to him anyway. And for the record, I didn't look at him exactly. Only at his arms and legs.
And why in the world could you look at his arms and legs?
Because of what happened the other night, though I doubt
Oh,
what he even remembers.
There we go.
それが少しだけ気になって、つい視線で
I
追っ
was
ていた
thinking about it and just happened to glance over at his arms and legs.
あの夜って遊園
What
地
you
の
mean
こと
at the amusement park? I don't remember him doing anything special. Alice's expression soured. She still felt the sting of her defeat.
飛んだでしょ、彼。
You saw the way he flew through the air, didn't you?
レールの上から私のダンプティーに向かって
Off the track, straight at my dumpty.
Did the stream crash? 1 second. No, it should be fine. Apologies if there was a flicker. Hopefully you can see why this trio is your fave of all Nasu's characters. They're really good. They're really solid.
そんなこと言ってたわね。
Sure, you were raving about how he flew a whole couple of feet. Aoko had not actually seen it in person, luckily. All she knew was that the spell she had placed on Sojiro was part of the reason he survived the jump of death. Alice, on the other hand, had observed the whole scene from the clock tower. It had only lasted an instant, but it had burned itself into her mind's eye. More than when her precious moon had fallen at Aoko's hands, and Flat Snark had come tumbling down.
でもそれがどうしたの？卵の敵討ち
So that's it. You wanna get back at him for what happened to Dumpty, do you?
ダンプティーは壊れるのが仕事だから。
Dumpty's destruction was purely business. I feel no need for retaliation.
人間の体って
I was just
あんな風に
intrigued to
動くんだ
observe the movement of a human body.
As it goes, for someone with as little human interaction as Alice, Sojourner's leap must have appeared quite It's the fucking high jump all over again!
Oh my god. God damn it.
It's the egg high jump!
Just like the other one.
Are you saying that the Sakura in this VN is attracted to the protagonist's high jump? Fuck off. Particularly because his legs were orders of magnitude less capable than those of an animal in the forest. And yet, even with such feeble legs, with those meek arms of his, he managed to fly through the open air like a bird. To her, it was akin to the feeling city folk get when they see a wild creature in its natural habitat.
気にしないで。機会があるならもう一度
Forget
見
I
たいと思
mentioned
った
it.
だけ。
I just hope I can witness that again someday.
She wants to send him flying again.
別に彼に何を期待しているわけじゃないわ。
And when I say human, I'm not referring to him.
なるほど。
I see, it was novel for you. It makes sense considering most of your ploys have non-human forms. Aoko sighed and released the tension from her shoulders. She was disappointed to discover that Alice's behavior stemmed from simple curiosity, like that of a child with a new toy. And Alice was in no position to take issue with the reaction. And how could she? She was not entirely sure what it was that she herself was feeling.
夕食。明日は私が
I'll
作る
make
から
dinner tomorrow.
試験前だってのに。
Another meal like this before exams is going to make it impossible to
一夜漬けする
study.
気合も湧かないわよ。ご自由に。私も手が空いて助か
No
るわ。
complaints from me. I certainly wouldn't mind the free time.
You love that she keeps thinking of him as a creature? He is! She's right!
Some manner of beast.
Night came and went in the mansion. For better or worse, the disturbances caused by the foreign invader had not yet caused the kettle to boil over. God. Oh, that's such a simple thing to do, but it's so cool. The next morning, at 6:30, as sunlight spread out across the sky, Soldier walked to school with Aoko in the chilly morning air.
いい？洋館にいるときは極力一人にならないこ
So
と。
try not to ever be alone in the house, okay? It was her intention to keep Soldier safe until he left the mansion. Nonetheless...
眠い。6時
God,
間
I'm sleepy. What's the deal with going to school so early?
そうでもないよ。30分仕出しを手伝うだけだし。
I have to pull a 30-minute shift helping with deliveries.
His work ethic was a little too strong for a student entering finals.
Are you sure you're not pushing yourself too hard, Azaki? You don't need to keep tabs on me, you know.
Don't you worry, I'll catch up on some sleep in the student council's room when we're done. I promise I walked you as far as the front gate, and I plan to stick to it. But internally, Aoko was worried. What traps did her roommate have in store for him? She could not imagine Alice had planned anything to go down in the woods, but she wanted to be safer than sorry. The least she could do was accompany Sojiro to school. That much she was firmly committed to. Any traps that presented themselves could then be dealt with on the spot. Well, not dealt with so much as destroyed, since that was Aoko's forte. But that could be enough to keep him safe for the time being. As for when you get out of school, all we can do is hope that Alice is short on free time today.
Okay.
If Alice was willing to put all her energy into a new trap after the first had failed, then they were as good as dead anyway. But Aoko could cross that road when she came to it. It all depended on how deep Alice's dislike of Sojiro really went. It would have to be enough to make her abandon her pride as a witch, something she had protected fervently up until now. If that were the case, Aoko knew she could never be able to keep him safe. The moment 24/7 protection became necessary was the moment she had failed. Her character led her to focus on what she could do in the here and now and ignore the rest. And this current plan of hers was her best attempt at doing right by everyone.
I love you, generic door open stock effect.
They left behind the Kuonji estate, and the two remained together until the residential area at the bottom of the hill, where Aoko glanced casually at Sojiro. So, any thoughts? Surprisingly, Sojiro saw through her harmless question and sensed the bigger issue. How was he going to win Alice over? In fact, he had been thinking about that very question. According to his friend, there were 3 basic approaches he could take. One was a roundabout approach. This way takes the longest, but it's the most natural. Humans love it when you pay attention to the things they like, just as friends do. In other words, instead of focusing on the person one wishes to win over, one should focus on their interests. It was a surprisingly mature opinion coming from Kinomi. Unfortunately, Sojiro had no idea what sort of things Alice liked. She seemed very fond of the mansion, but what could he do? Clean it for her? He sensed that it could have a reverse effect. He had the distinct feeling she could not want him touching what was precious to her. The second approach was to take the inner track. It's the fastest way to get someone to fall for you! When you can ghost your natural good looks and charms, that's what your wallet's for! You know what I'm talking about? Gifts! A quick and dirty strategy, the assassin strike. Manipulate someone's feelings with an expensive gift. To Sojiro, this sounded like his best chance. The approach was easy for him to grasp and he appreciated its simplicity. However, he had the same concerns as with the first approach. A step was missing, and without this step, the plan was bound to fail. The only other option is, I guess you could call it a wait and see. I don't fully understand it myself, but they say if you try too hard, your plan's bound to backfire. Like, you don't ever want the girl to have a sudden epiphany of, oh no, I love him. It's better that it dawns on her after you've hung out together for a while, like, wait, I think I like him. Though Sojiro did not quite grasp the details, he understood the basic idea: do not press your luck. He knew that much was good advice. He could have to try extremely hard to get on Alice's good side. And he could tell it could be a long process to get here. Sojiro recalled the time he had wandered inside a fox's territory in the mountains. He had left some food on the ground for the fox, and then it never bothered him again. What is considered goodwill and kindness varies from person to person. But if there is enough goodwill from one side, regardless of whether that goodwill is reciprocated, the other side will eventually start to feel an obligation to do so. That was key.
It's okay, I'll think of something. For now, I can only do what I can do. Don't worry, I've taken your counsel to heart, Azaki.
Oh, he's so fucking dead. Holy shit.
He's dead. He's dead, man.
Sojiro seemed ready to face things head on. His answer did little to reassure Aoko. However, she found herself more concerned about his safety than ever before. This visual gag interrupting the atmosphere of the scene got you way worse. Just unironically choke on your drink a bit. Yeah, didn't he? Wait, did that idiot actually have good advice? You're looking for a broom like the ones at school? Oh, that's fucking... Oh my gosh, she's so short.
Who's this?
I think she's new.
Oh. Yeah, the cheaper the better.
Do you want to voice her or should I?
I don't do... I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far.
I can take her. Because I think you have... Yeah, you have the nun, so yeah. Don't you live in an apartment? Who needs a broom in an apartment?
Well, you know, I've been wanting to clean things up a little. I could use some trash bags, too.
Aren't you supposed to be broke or something? Whatever. When I use my broom then, I'll lend it to you if you want. She's so fucking tiny, dude!
That's a short bitch. Actually, I need it for longer than one day, so it's best I buy my own. I mean, I always wanted my own broom. Brooms are nice to have around, you know?
Sojiro was on his way home from his part-time job after school. It was 4 in the afternoon, 2 hours earlier than his part-time job could have normally ended. The Mad Bear's head chef had gotten in trouble with the accountant for making a student work the day before exams. Thus, Sojiro's boss had tearfully sent him home early. And that is when it happened. The interruption to his standard school schedule must have been just the shock he needed. Normally, he could meet up with Aoko after she was done with student council affairs and go home with her. She's so mad here. However, today, Sojiro was asking the other students who worked at the same place if they knew any shops in the area where he could buy a broom. God, what is wrong with you? People from the countryside are like so weird. Anyway, you know that nasty ramen place near school? Just go to the end of that street and there's a hardware store called Okita. It's way cheaper than the home supply store to the west of the station, as long as they have what you want anyway. Just my bicycle if you want, I don't care. I won't need it until exams are over anyway. Sojiro's eyes lit up, as if he had met his savior. But biking uphill to the mansion, let alone with a package to carry, was not a pretty thought.
I appreciate the offer, but I'll pass. See you at school tomorrow.
Saying farewell to his co-workers, he headed to the hardware store. He needed a cheap and sturdy bamboo broom and a large dustpan to go with it. If possible, a pushcart and stick for a splint could have been nice too. As it happened, Sojiro wanted quite a few things. What is he doing? What is this boy doing?
What is he planning?
Alice returned to her work after waking from her nap. The Kwonji estate had an annexed house library. The library was filled with books handed down to her from her mother, so it was Alice's territory, such that even Aoko dared not enter. If the mansion was a witch's abode, left behind by the times, the library was a fairy tale quarters lost to the ages. It was a natural sanctuary for the young witch who could command ploys to do her bidding. She relied on her memory to recall the location of each book on the many shelves. And then she saw it. Upon raising her head, she was met with the most unusual of sights. Her elegant eyebrows bristled in distaste. From that moment on, she failed to accomplish anything she had planned for that day. She was instead forced to stare at the strange sight outside her window, eyebrows fixed in that position until the sunset. Oh, that's so pretty though.
Fuck, dude.
Oh, I love this VN so much, dude. Well, moving into the grand mansion on the hill had not brought any major changes to Sojiro's day-to-day schedule. He woke up, went to his part-time job, ate breakfast, and went to school. Classes came and went, still strange and new, broken up by rare and brief moments of rest until the school day ended. He left school, went to his part-time job, slept, woke up, and studied for exams. Hellish, actually. A modest life for a modest young man, continuing every day in the same fashion despite his best efforts to change his fortune. But nothing ever really changes. Whether Aoko was by his side in the mansion, as was frequently the case, or whether Alice was making him drink some potion she prepared before going to bed. The former was an attempt by Aoko to make him feel better. The latter was some attempt to keep him safe, even if he did not fully appreciate it. Then, one day, a day like any other, Will Sojiro was pouring himself some tea as he worried over the lack of change in his life.
Oh, by the way...
His relationship with Alice was the same as ever, but there was one major change this morning. He was drinking black tea instead of green. Though there were all sorts of different types of tea to be found in the kitchen, a newcomer to the world of tea like Sojiro could not tell one of them from the next. Naturally, his tea-making skills were limited to tea bags, one of which he placed in his cup before returning to the dining table. Alice and Aoko were already seated. The two were eating in silence. In this household, it was everyone for themselves when it came to breakfast. The diplomatic description of their breakfast could be simple. The more accurate description could be 2 slices of stale bread prepared in seconds. Aoko exchanged a word or two with Alice, took a sip of tea, and stood up from her seat. Since it was winter break for the high schooler, Alice, she returned to her room after eating as she normally did, while Aoko headed to the front door, shoes in hand, ready for school. After hurriedly clearing the stable, Sojiro rushed out the door after Aoko. Together they walked down the long hill in the direction of the school. They had spent 3 days following this very simple routine. So any word on you know who? School had ended and evening had arrived. Buttered bread roll in one hand, Alice replied with a simple, silent shake of her head. Thought so. The enemy must be considering their next move too. Have you figured out where the mage is? Her response was exactly the same. Without showing the slightest sign of dejection, she continued to chew the roll and took a stab at her salad. Okay then, I'll help you once my exams are over if you can manage on your own till then. I have to help that idiot study, so my schedule is pretty warped. Alice's face grew dour, as if she had something to get off her chest. Don't give me that look. You're on winter break, you can spend all day working on it, can't you? Alice was indeed on vacation and could spend all day, every day on her work as a mage. Yet she had spent the past few days holed up in the library instead. She was hardly devoting herself to dealing with the challenger, as Aoko put it. Alice? Are you listening? Hey girl, here. Come on, what's up?
Yes, I'll get to work on it tonight.
Sighing, she stood up. Did you like her outfit?
I just really like the turtleneck with tucked into the dress. It's just a really good look. I also dress like that. Into a skirt. My bad.
Yeah.
I just think she's got good taste. That's all I'm saying.
What was bothering Alice? And what was it she wanted to say? What had she been doing only 2 hours earlier? The young witch took her leave from the breakfast table without offering a single clue. Big posting queen!
That's just the two of these characters.
Yeah. Misaki High, this may be the last scene for tonight, if it doesn't run too long. Misaki High was a private school, and as such, its winter break started earlier than public schools. The end-of-term ceremony was in mid-December, followed by a brief respite before the next term began. Of course, that was if and only if they overcame the classic obstacle lying between them and an extended break from school, final exams. The radio continued its broadcast late into the night. A thermos of hot tea eliminated the need to venture down to the kitchen. An electric blanket kept away the winter cold, and a crab-shaped pastry staved off any dinner-time hunger. These were the lengths Aoko had gone to. She needed to ensure that every aspect of her surroundings helped her pull a successful all-nighter. Congrats on surviving the first day of exams. Are you ready to leave your old study habits behind and be reborn as a new student? Sojiro nodded earnestly. Upon returning from work, he encountered not the mate she expected, but the Demon Student Council President, Taozaki. Half a day earlier, the first day of exams were over, and Sojiro was about to head back to the mansion, where he hoped to put his plan into practice, when... Tonight I'm holding you prisoner. Your grades are simply unacceptable. Cancel your shift and any other plans you have. A cold, blue grin greeted him in the hallway. Clenching her fist was Sojiro's exam paper. Mr. Yamashiro had no doubt said,
He only just transferred. We can't expect miracles.
but she had snatched the exam out of the teacher's hand the minute he tried to show her. That was how Sojiro had ended up in Aoko's room instead of the room in the attic, to which he was accustomed. Though her situation was far from normal, at the end of the day, she was an adolescent girl like any other. Naturally, she felt uncomfortable letting a boy her own age into her room. However, his grades were truly something that called for desperate measures. That explained why her mood was even worse than normal today, and the vein on her forehead was pulsing visibly with anger. I need to finish my own studies first. You can use that table in the meantime. Aoko turned her back to him and sat down at her favorite desk. Sojiro was left standing before a cheap-looking glass table.
I'm still really not used to all this. What's that blue thing over there, Ozaki?
Restless, Sojiro found his eyes drawn to the guitar propped up in the corner.
It's thin, blue, and intense looking. It's got your name written all over it. Don't tell me it's some kind of weapon.
It's a musical instrument. I understand if you've never seen an electric one, but you must have seen an acoustic guitar in the music room. Keep talking though, and you'll soon see if it also works as a weapon. Sojiro plopped himself down onto a cushion, struggling to suppress the desire to retort that it was a weapon after all. Don't play the victim! Usually you're as oblivious as an old and deaf dog. What's got you worked up this time? In fact, it was Aoko who was oblivious for once. For his part, Sojiro could not figure out why he felt so restless either. Suffice to say, they were both pretty clueless in this moment. Is it the way I decorated my room? My furniture's totally different to the stuff in the drawing room, so I understand if it feels a little weird. I brought everything from home except the bed. It's been 2 years since I moved here, but I still don't feel like me and my stuff belongs in this big old house. Though she misunderstood the real reason for Sojiro's nervousness, Aoko seemed satisfied that she had resolved Sojiro's anxiety for the time being and returned to her studies. She flipped through her notes and textbooks, as if fast-forwarding a tape. There was no opening for an outsider like him to intrude in her high-speed study session. Repelled by her intensity, he retreated to his table. He was at least sensitive enough to pick up on her desire to be left alone. It was a testament to Sojiro that having his needs utterly ignored was now second nature to him, to the extent that he could now happily go about his business in solitude. 2 hours passed. Then, as the clock neared 11, Aoko's speed and concentration began to slip. Seeing his window of opportunity, Sojiro seized the moment to strike up a conversation.
Ozaki, can I talk to you for a minute?
What is it? She spoke hesitantly, not bothering to turn to face him. She continued to flip the pages of her textbook, albeit at a slower speed than before.
I noticed how you and Alice have been acting at dinner these past 3 days, and is it always like that?
Yes, it's normal. Do we not look normal?
I'm not sure how to answer that. It's just, at school, people seem to enjoy eating together, so I thought it was strange that the two of you don't look like you enjoy it. I thought maybe it's because of, you know.
Don't worry, it's not because of you that we haven't been talking at mealtimes. We've never talked to each other during meals. Aoko spoke calmly, with her back still turned, seemingly unaware of what he was getting at.
Well, it can get pretty tense. And here I thought you two were close friends.
She neither confirmed nor denied his statement. She was, however, surprised by the disappointed tone in which he had made it. You're not wrong. It can get tense. I can't remember how many times she's put mescaline in your drink, and yesterday she was adding rowan to your salad. It's me, what the hell she was thinking.
That's so funny.
A bitter smile spread across her face in reminiscence. The pages of her textbook continued to turn.
Mescaline? What's that?
It's a hallucinogenic alkali produced by the peyote cactus. I'm assuming it's more than just your average hallucinogen if Alice was using it, though. And I'm done. With that, she slowly shut her fourth textbook of the night. After having scarcely changed position the whole night, she finally turned in her chair to face him. Now it's time to put you to work. I don't know what else I was expecting, but I still almost fainted when I saw your scores. Her tone was light, but her gaze was heavy as she stared at Sojiro, seated cross-legged on the floor. Modern literature, geography, math, and electronics. If you don't up your grades over the next 2 days, your winter break is as good as gone. And that will be more of a problem for me than you. We sent a queen in talks.
Yes, we do.
I disagree. I think it'll be worse. Going to school during the break would not work out for me.
Sojiro calmly corrected her. For you? If you have to go to school over the break, what do you think will happen to me? All she could think about, as much as she tried not to, was Yamashiro and his annoying grin. I cannot allow any student to fail every single class. Not on my watch. If I could beat good grades out of you, I would. Lucky for you, you have extenuating circumstances, shall we say, so I'll give you a pass just this once. A good all-nighter is usually enough for me to prepare for exams, so it shouldn't take too long to get you up to speed either. Sojiro's expression openly soured in response to her declaration. It was obvious he did not think he needed her meddling in his studies. Oh please, which of us do you think is going to have the harder time of it, me or you? Sojiro got the feeling that it could be him, but he nodded slowly nonetheless. Then again, it would probably take more effort on her part than on his, and in any case, he knew there was no way to talk her out of it.
I feel bad for making you do this.
Sojiro summarily bowed his head to show gratitude and willingness to work. Good. And don't worry, I'm not a demon, like they say. You can get less than average marks and still pass. You'll probably be able to go to bed by 3. She nodded with satisfaction, pleased by his studious attitude. He had plenty of obstacles ahead of him, but that sense of humility might be enough to see him through. Wait, what was I thinking? I can't afford to be this soft on you. Shizuki, let me be straight about this. Temporary arrangement. It's not every day I offer private or one-on-one lessons like this. This is beyond rare, an exception among exceptions, and don't you go forgetting that. She spoke more to convince herself than him, but his expression still darkened. It made one want to hang a sign around his neck that read, "Please take me home like an abandoned pet." Aoko chided herself for being so soft. For some reason, in that moment, she recalled that it had been raining the day they met each other. Oh, we can't leave it here.
Might be wise.
And leave the aftermath of the study session and whatever the fuck was going on with Alice for next time.
God, I love Alice, dude.
Whew. Their dynamic is so good.
Every time I see more of her, she hits a little harder.
God. We stand the Intox Queen.
We do.
Can't fucking believe that. I can't fucking believe this goddamn VN sometimes. There's his Blanky.
Yeah.
There's the funny jar.
With clearly a bottle.
You know what I meant.
God, it's almost like English is your second language or something.
Yeah. Do we have the visual from inside of the bottle over here, maybe? That could be fun. To once again experience being small.
So, I really need to run to the bathroom, so I might duck out of stream here.
That's
Thank
very
you very
fair.
much for having me. Thank you very much for watching. Very excited for next week. I'm glad we're actually getting to these with regularity now.
Yeah, this was really lovely.
Yeah, always. Every stream I've ever done with you has been wonderful. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye, Anya. Oh, she's bilingual. I didn't know she liked girls too. Sure, man. Go piss, girl. Don't let the fairy win. So here is a little secret chat. She is the fairy, I think, actually. God, realizing the intox joke you made manifested itself into reality in the same stream. Gift of prophecy and whatnot. Yeah, baby. This game continues being excellent. I love these characters. I love their fuckery. I love the ways they interact and how they see each other. I love how clueless everybody is. And I can't wait to see more of them, and more of them being put in dangerous, deadly situations soon enough. Until then, however... yeah, they're all fantastic. Until then, however... Sunday, AI The Somnium Files finale. Wednesday, we continue Lobotomy Corporation. And then, on Friday, more of this. We will continue as we have until now. You love that Aoko is like not a turtle person, but she's explicitly a capital B bitch in the most fun way possible. Oh yeah, baby! Yippee! Let's continue making good progress through this as we have, chat. Thank you all for being wonderful people. I should get the ending music going, actually, not this one. Yeah. I'll be seeing you next time. I need to go. As a reminder for anybody watching this, it is 1:30 AM for me at the time of this, like, end of stream time, so... yeah. Bye-bye!